Hello, everybody. Okay, I'm going to give you a couple minutes to get all signed in and say hello to me when you get here. Hello, 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 artists. Hi, Shane. How are you doing, darling? Cool. Just going to wait here for a couple minutes. Hey, Trudy, how are you doing? Oh, good. I'm glad, Shane. It was so cute to see your daughter. Shane was messaging me and her daughter wanted to send me kisses. Her daughter is 4 years old, I think, April. I'm not mistaken. And she was blowing me kisses. So it was very sweet. I'm doing good. Thank you, Trudy. I am. Just making some art today, which is really nice to be able to focus on creating fun things. All right, there's 12 of you here. Yes, she's 4 and she loves you. Oh, that is so sweet, Shane. Yeah, that is wonderful. Ozzy is doing great. He is wild. But he's doing really well actually, and he's acclimating to me working really well. Wonderful. I was really stressed about that. About me working and then having him be alone. I was very worried. Oh, hello, Kim. It's nice to meet you. Kim says that she's new and that the art is amazing. Thank you so very much. I'm glad that you've joined us, and I hope you enjoy the channel. Hopefully, you've joined us over at the Messy Hand Band of Artists Facebook group. We have a really over there. Big shout Cindy and Kat Austin. They are, as always, my true friends, and they speak for me in the group. So if you ever have a question, they are very knowledgeable about what they're talking about. I have had to not be on the page as much lately, of course, since I have gone to work. So thankfully, I have them watching over things for me. So thank you, girls. You are most awesome, and I dig you very much. Okay. Hello, Brenda. How are you doing? Hi, Cindy. Much love from Greece. Oh, how cool. Somebody from Greece. That's awesome. Very fun. Hello, Carolyn. Carolyn from Fresno. Hi, Oma. Oma says that she loves being in the band, and we love having you there for sure. That is great that everybody is here with us today. Hi, Deborah. How are you doing? Mwah. Ozzy, thanks you for all of your goodies. In fact, all of the birthday gifts that were sent for Oz, thank you so very much. And of course, the supplies that you guys have sent for me, so very, very helpful. I think Shane has a care package coming from me that is going to be for me, which is, oh, yes, my goodness, woman. Thank you so very much, everybody, for keeping us in your thoughts. And we really, truly do appreciate all of the wonderful gifts that we've gotten. Hi, Tony. Kim says that she will join. Thank you. Whenever you start your next altered items, I would love to join. So we'll be finishing up with the creating your first altered book, the first altered book. We did the cover, let's see, the cover. I did this week. Let's see. Now I have to keep it kind of dark in here so you guys don't get reflections, but this is really, we learned how to make a stencil today. This is Saturday's video. Make our own stencil and use our texture paste, and we will be finishing up the back cover next week. So yes, we will be starting with a new book. Once this one is finished, we'll be starting with the new book, oh, in a few weeks, I'm sure. So that'll be fun. That'll be really cool. Let's see. Oh my goodness. Xrisa. Is that even close to how you pronounce your name? Xrisa. Xrisa? I hope so. She says, love, love, love your art. Unique. Never lose your videos. it's hard to interpret what that one is. Sometimes Siri says really crazy things and it's hard to know what she's talking about, right? Oh, thank you, Trudy. Yeah, it was quite the process. It took me a few hours to get done for sure. So we'll see if I can condense it into 30 minutes. If not, we'll go into 2 videos for that one. Hello, Julia. Julia is Miss Golly 40. She says, hi, Steph from New Zealand. I'm Julia and finally got time sorted. Yay! So I kind of do this 3 o'clock time frame. It's not necessarily convenient for those working over here on Pacific time zone, but it does allow for our people on the other side of the world to hopefully catch the videos before they go to sleep or when they first wake up. So it's a hard thing to find the right time to do all of this. Okay, let me just do one quick check here and see. What are we talking about here, Cindy? Okay, let's see. I'm just double checking here. Smile, Cindy. They're texting me. Smile, you're on candid camera. Okay, the girls are so cute. We all keep in contact while we're doing this, and that way they can help answer questions. Because of course, when you guys ask questions that I don't know the answers to, I do not like to give you incorrect information. So that's why I have a couple additional amazing artists to assist with answering questions. Yay! Mm-hmm. And I'm not afraid to say I don't know something about something. Okay. Let's see. Having trouble with the clarity of the video. Mary, that is not unusual. If it gets really bad, refresh your screen. My Wi-Fi is not the best, so hopefully everybody else is doing okay. The clarity is always a little bit iffy, so try to refresh your screen. If that doesn't work, it's kind of like a podcast that has sort of a blurry video to it. I'm sorry about that, but I live out here in the boonies, so I have satellite Wi-Fi service. It's not very fun. Oh, Trudy, it's 11 p.m. for her in England or UK, United Kingdom. My name sounds like Krista. Oh, interesting. Okay. I was definitely way off. Not unusual. You guys know I have trouble pronouncing things for sure. Okay. Oh, Jean. Jean says, hello, everyone. Day 4 of the new job, doing great. Oh, that is so great, Jean. I'm happy for you and congratulations. I'm glad that it's going well. Let's see. Miss Golly says it's 11 a.m. Friday morning here. So it's in my future. Yes, yes. So it's an interesting thing to be a global community. I think it's really fascinating. Okay. Okay, thanks. We'll restart. You shouldn't have to restart all the way, Mary. Just maybe refresh the page up top. Here in Greece, it's 1 a.m. Oh my goodness. Oh, I know how that is, though. I've been staying up late lately myself. Okay. Krissa, no TA at the end. Got it. Okay, perfect. Krissa, got it. All right, perfect. How is everybody doing? I hope you're doing great. Hey guys, please hit that thumbs up button. It's so awesome. Please subscribe, of course, if you haven't. Oma says that her order arrived today. Perfection. Wonderful. Oma, which one did you purchase? Let me know which one you purchased. I think I know which one you purchased, but I'm not positive, and we can chat about that really quick. Hello, Dorothy. She says, hello, lovely Stephanie and artists. So lovely to be here with you all. Big hugs and loves from Dorothy. Hello, Dorothy. So happy you're here with us today. Let's just kind of jump in with a couple of the announcements. Of course, we know that we are doing the ATC exchange over at the Messy Hand Band of Artists. If you haven't joined us on Messy Hand Band on Facebook, I really hope that you do that. We have an amazing group of people there. It's a wonderful community. We are very supportive of each other, and no nastiness is ever allowed. So it is a safe place to share and to share your work and to grow as an artist and to have people around who care. So the ATC exchange. All right. As you know, artist trading cards, ATC, they are 2.5 inch by 3.5 inch cards. And I know I brought them over here. The two that I've been making, you saw the videos here. There they are. I brought it all over. I don't know where it's at. Here we go. So those are the ones that I've been making. Now these are fall doodles. These are not necessarily doodles, guys. These are kind of doodles on steroids. I understand that. But I'm only going to be exchanging with 4 people this time. I do not have the time to do 40 ATC cards like I did last time. Actually, last time I did 44. So I won't be exchanging with everybody. I will be just another participant in the group. So just to let you know, though, if you do want to send me an ATC, which would make you the fifth ATC you could send to me, that would be wonderful. And I will gather them all up and open them on air once again. The last time I opened them on air, sadly, the video was really corrupted. So I'll probably just do, instead of doing it as a live feed, we don't want to risk that again. So I'll probably just do it as a video and show all of the wonderful artwork that everybody has created. So you will be trading with 4 randomly generated people. You will receive cards from 4 randomly generated people. They are not the same people. All of the instructions and rules for these are on the Messy Hand Band of Artists group page in the files. And then you can also see all of this information on the previous ATC videos that I have done in the past, showing how to make them. If you do want to send me a card, that would be wonderful, and I would love to receive it. It is definitely not a requirement. So it is an international exchange. Be sure that you can afford the postage. And also, if you're sending internationally, try not to make that envelope too heavy. It can get expensive pretty quickly. So let's see. All right. Magnets and adventure canvas. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Oh, Oma. Okay, I know who you are. Hello, dear. How are you doing? Okay. How long does it take for the order to come to England? Do I know? No, I have no idea how long the shipping will take to get to England. I did not do it as priority mail because that's just so much more expensive getting overseas. I would guess it'll probably take a week or 2. I have no idea. Trudy purchased some of the little these are little notebooks. Now Carolyn got the first batch, and then I started making these other little ones. Now these were actually an idea from Kat, but these have little 5 pieces of mixed media paper, so it makes 10 pages, which you can remove that paper and refill it. It's like a little traveler's notebook, but it just goes into your purse. And I have a couple more of these made up now. If anybody's interested in those, please be sure to private message me, as well as we have the t-shirts still. I know that I need to get an official listing out there, but I do have all sizes available from small to 2X. They are a very nice quality t-shirt. I should probably be wearing it so that you can all see what they look like. It just says a girl and her dog making art by the river. Just a girl and her dog making art by the river. It's blue and kind of a light lime green. You can see that somewhere. I'll make sure that we get some images up of the t-shirts. Those are $25 in the United States. So if you're shipping outside of the US, we would have to look at the shipping cost per place. Okay, let's see. All right, well, I gotta go backwards here. Oh, let's see. Thank you so much, Krista. And something else, you are really so beautiful, just like your art is. Thank you so much, dear. I appreciate the compliment. Oma, is that Oma like grandma? I don't know. Well, it could be. Trudy says that she absolutely loves the Messy Hands group. Yeah, they're pretty phenomenal people there. Kat says that we have 42 signed up for the ATC exchange so far. Sign up. If I didn't say this before, guys, I'm sorry. Sign up deadline is September 25th. So let's call it at 5 p.m. Pacific so that we don't have to keep waiting for those last little stragglers. September 25th. Kat, is there any time limit, or do you have a deadline on the time on that? I didn't see that you did, but let's maybe think about 5 o'clock p.m. on September 25th if you want to join in the ATC exchange. Oh, Oma says, yeah, it is for grandma. And Cindy says 42 super awesome artists. Woohoo! Mary says, delighted. I had an Oma, grew up in, oh goodness, I can't even say that. Blettingham? Oh my goodness, I'm not gonna. Deborah says, make 6 ATCs, 1 extra for Steph and 1 for yourself. Carolyn says, wow, 42, a good year. Kim says, you are blurry. And Kim, again, that is not unusual. I have Wi-Fi satellite. Now, if it's really blurry, you can try refreshing your screen. But there is going to always be a bit of blurriness to my feeds because I have to lower the quality of the video in order for us not to freeze up. So, Kat says, mail to the UK takes less than 2 weeks, usually about a week. Yay! And Trudy did buy some of the little notebooks, like I said. All right, Cindy says, a reminder, if you get an international choice for your ATC exchange partner, send sooner rather than later so that the recipient isn't waiting a month. And that is very true, guys. If you have signed up for the ATC exchange, the theme is fall doodles. Get started on them as soon as possible. We give you plenty of time to finish them, but the sooner that you can get it mailed out, the sooner your partner receives it. And it's just a much happier thing instead of people sitting and waiting for them. I know Deborah, unfortunately, had quite a long wait, and she's in the US. So it's just part of the exchange. And then also, of course, guys, just to be polite, it is nice to thank your person who sent your ATC card to you. So when you receive your ATC card, post a picture to Messy Hands and say your thanks to whomever sent it. It's just polite. And then it also does fill up the page with all of that gorgeous art, which we love to see. Fall Doodle ATC, I should talk about that real quick. I did provide some additional ideas to our Patreons. You guys did get some new pieces of artwork. You can always do trees, you can do flowers, you can do houses, you can do any of those things that we've already done. You can also take your completed doodles. You can cut those out. I mean, what if you were to cut out some of your trees and put them together on a card and make a neat little collage that way? So don't think that just because I did it this way that you have to do it this way. That is not a requirement. Fall doodles are just meant to be your artwork that are fall inspired. It doesn't matter how you put it together. That is, of course, the artist's choice. Oh, Pearl, where is Oz, our love? Ozzy is outside. Come here, buddy. Hi, buddy. Come here. Up. Hi. Hi. Say hi to everybody. Hello. We went down to the river early today. We did. Yes, we're not going back down there. No, my breath smell good. Thank you. So he is wet, and we did our big run today. Oh, little burps. Oh, such a good boy. He's doing really well. Oh, you getting down? Okay. Bye-bye. He just got me wet. Okay. Oma is grandma in German. Oh, cool. Let's see. 5 p.m. is good for the deadline, Pacific Standard, for the ATC on September 25th. Okay. Is it okay to join twice and make and receive 8? No, it isn't. But thank you so much for that question. So no, you cannot join twice to make 8. If you want to do additional exchanges with people within the group, you can send private messages to them. So it all needs to be off of the page, though, guys. And that goes for any trading that happens that's not page authorized. So if you would like to give people happy mail, if you would like to send them a random act of kindness or any of those things, all of that needs to be done off of the Messy Hand page and done through private messaging. And the reason for that is, number one, we're not an exchange group. We do the ATC quarterly just for us to get to know each other a little bit better and to share our art with each other. But that is not the focus of Messy Hands, as you guys well know. And also, we don't want anybody to feel left out. And so that's another big thing, is that, you know, if suddenly somebody posts a picture of something that they've received, like a big piece of happy mail, and somebody else didn't get anything, then you know, then jealousies can happen and hurt feelings can happen. And not that we're not all big girls, big people, grown-ups, but, you know, it's best to just kind of keep that up at a personal level. It is very sweet that everybody wants to trade with each other, and I do love that about our group. We have a very generous and giving group, and I think that's phenomenal. We do just have to put a few limits on the exchanges. You know, is it basically, if it's not part of something that we set up as the admin, then it really probably shouldn't be on the pages. Okay. Yes, as Cindy says, you can make extra and exchange with other people in the group privately going through Messenger. Exactly. Thanks is not only polite, but we want to know that the cards were received. That's very, very true. So it is very helpful when you post your thank you for your ATC, and that way people know that the card has reached to them. And that, you know, it's really sad when somebody sends out a piece of artwork and it doesn't get there. And you know, especially after we've put all that hard work. I felt so bad with our last exchange. Oh, who was it? Was it Jean? Possibly. That the mail, the envelope was ripped in half, and I got a little plastic bag that only had the addresses on it and no ATC. So that was heartbreaking. Anyways, should each ATC be different? And hi, Ozzy. You can do your ATCs however you want to do them. If you want to do 4 the exact same, there is no issue with that, or 5 if you want to send one to me. Do whatever is easiest for you and whatever makes you happy. They do not have to be the same. They do not have to be different. They're going to different people. So, oh goodness, I really want to show off Riley. And Mary, I believe Riley is your puppy dog. Hello, Nanas. Nanas, I think that's Susan. I think we have a few Susans, so I think Nana's Southern Crafts. Hello, how are you? We reflect our teachers, generous and kind. Yes, thank you so much. Looks like a good size studio you have, and Ozzy is adorable. Kim, this is actually my living room. So in my living room, I have space for one chair and my work table. So this is over half of my house. I have a very small place that I live in. Luckily, I don't have a boyfriend, basically, or anybody who shares my space with me, because there's no room for anybody else in this space. There is hardly room for Ozzy and us, or Ozzy and I. As you can see, I go up with all of my art supplies. So it doesn't necessarily look beautiful, but it does function. So that's what's important. How do you join the ATC Exchange? Mary, you just have to go over to the Messy Hand Band of Artists Facebook group, join the group, and then there is an announcement that talks about the ATC Exchange. I think Kat will boost that up to the top. If you wouldn't mind, dear, for me, that would be awesome, or Cindy. And then all you have to do is comment "I'm in" underneath the announcement for the ATC Exchange. And it's in pretty bold coloring, so you'll be able to see it. Okay. Yes, Cindy says, go to the Messy Hand page and join. Yep. Hi, Susan. Okay. Thanks so much, Cindy. All right. That's perfect. Who needs a living room anyway? I wouldn't mind having a little bit more walking space. Everything is at very close proximity, and it would be nice to have a little more space. I'm not going to lie, but I make do. I'm used to living in small spaces. So, okay. Oh, thank you so much, Kat. Kat says the ATC announcement is pinned to the top of the announcement tab. So when you get into Messy Hands Band of Artists, look on the left-hand side, find the part that says announcements, go to that, and you should be able to find the announcement. And all you have to do is go to the bottom and say, "I'm in," and then you're in. It's pretty easy. Ooh. The announcements tab. I got it, darling. Okay. We had a few questions, and some of these guys I really honestly can't answer. Because I don't have enough experience with it. Here is a question, though, saying rice paper instead of fabric to help with gluing the seams of books. To me, I haven't tried rice paper, but to me, rice paper would seem pretty fragile. And the reason why I use fabrics in my seams is because the fabric really works the best. Use it if you would like to use it, but I just have started to prep every single page with fabric, and it's served me well. My book does not fall apart. As you can see also, this will probably need to be reoperated on, but this is fabric also on the cover. So every single one of these pages has a fabric seam in between it. And the reason for that is these books fall apart, and I'm tired of my artwork falling apart. So I'm just going to reinforce it as I go. And lo and behold, the books don't fall apart anymore. So that makes me happy. Hold on one second. Working on the Exquisite Corpse page. Oh my goodness. Okay, so would rice paper work? I don't know. You'll have to try it. It seems like it would be pretty fragile, in my opinion, but I don't know. Let's see here. Oh, that's funny. Okay. These creators need your space. I know, right? Okay. Me as well. Always a small place. Yes. In California, you can't really afford a big place. Let me tell you, you just can't. Okay. All right. Was watching you do your altered book. What materials do you use, such as fabric, etc.? Thank you. All right, Kim, that's a big question. Materials for altered books. Let me just say with that, it depends on what type of layout I'm doing. It's going to depend on every single page that I do is different. So what I would suggest, like with creating your first altered book, this is our most recent project that we've been working on, and we take you through it individually. This is a scrapbook paper and deli sheets, that layout. This layout was acrylic paint and gesso. This layout was napkin transparencies. This layout was all fabric. This layout was brown paper bag and Delusions shimmer sprays, and also, of course, our archival inks. This layout was gesso transfers, and it's got a lot of gold alcohol ink, paint, gesso, and the small archival ink pads. This one is some really cool elements. We have copper tape in here. This background is texture paste and some crackle paste. We have some little spinners. So it just depends on what the layout is. This one is copper foil duct tape and aluminum duct tape. This is aluminum foil with alcohol inks. This is Tim Holtz papers and some cheesecloth, some gesso. So each individual page has its own technique done to it. So what do I use? The only thing that I use standard with everything is Mod Podge, and then some cool base layer papers and whatever paints I can find. You know, I try to keep it interesting and mix it up. So hopefully that answers what type of supplies I use. Okay. Hello, Sharon, if I didn't say hello. And fabric, I use fabric always in the seams, and like the one layout that was made entirely of fabric. So I did try it 2 layers at work. Don't know how long it will last, but it did work. I reinforced it with book binding tape. Okay, yeah, rice paper I think would be kind of tough to use. I probably wouldn't recommend it, Shane, but if you got it to work, that's awesome. Go for it. And Cindy says you can also use white silk, real silk, for book reinforcement. The silk virtually disappears and silk is very strong. That is a very good comment, Cindy. Thank you so much for adding that in. I also have some sari skirts made out of silk. And some of those skirts, honestly, they were just something that I bought for $10 at a craft show. And a couple of them don't fit very well. So I think that would be a great way to use that beautiful colored silk up also. Silk does dry very lightweight, so it would be a great thing to use. Let's see. Never done one, would like to be prepared. Well, Kim, all you have to do is just gather every type of art supply, every type of paper, every type of fabric. Basically, the great thing about doing altered books, and this is my favorite thing about it, is you use a little bit of everything. And, like with the steampunk girl, here I just started using all sorts of different little components. These little keys, these were the keys to the lock that I put on the bridge that spanned Paris between the Museum, the Louvre, and the l'Orange. Museum. So there's a bridge there where people put padlocks on there. So those legs were actually from Ozzy's key. You'll see that in the Paris video. Gosh, did I post that? I can't remember if I posted that. But yes, you use whatever you have, and that is the great thing about altered books and mixed media. And that's what I love about it. And the key thing too is to use what you have. You don't have to always keep going out and buying new supplies. I have to provide you with new supplies, new ideas, new thoughts, just because I need to keep it interesting for everybody and, challenge myself to use these different products, as you've seen me do with the Doodle series. Okay, muslin for reinforcements, that would work perfect. Let's see. I use cotton a lot of times. I use Baltics. I use silk. I use whatever. What if you don't have the materials you're using? Try using whatever you have. Or unfortunately cannot see you at all the pictures like in a cloud. Try refreshing your page and see if that helps. Again, the Wi-Fi is difficult. I use cotton, but I'm going to try the silk. The silk should actually probably be friendlier to the seams than what the cotton is. The silk should dry thinner. It would probably I should probably use that myself. Okay, muslin for reinforcements. Go for it. Go for it. Kat says, I've been using cotton quilting fabric. A quilt I started to make and hated it. Now it is altered books and canvases and ATCs. That is awesome. Yep. Same here. Just use whatever you have. Susan says, I go to my local Salvation Army and buy 2 pegs of clothes for $10 to use on crafts. That's a good way to do it. Scrap or old clothes that have fun patterns on it. That's perfect. And then you don't have to go out and buy, fabric. It's probably a much cheaper way of doing it, actually. And Sharon says, I agree, Stephanie. There really are no rules or limitations when creating an altered book. That's what makes it so fun. And that is the truth. And I have tons of videos on the channel. And even the videos that are before April, they're a little bit longer videos, but I really do play with a lot of different techniques. Really, Siri? Look at this. She's typing me out. What the heck? How did that happen? Oh my God. Siri just starts to listen to your conversation. Crazy. Okay. Let's see. When I don't have the same materials, I try to find something that will accomplish the same thing, like gliding wax instead of shimmer sprays. Exactly, Jean. And that's exactly what you guys should be doing. Take inspiration from what I'm doing, but you absolutely do not have to copy it exactly in any way, shape, or form. And in fact, if you don't, you get something that is inspired by, but that is still your own. And I think that that is really what we should all be aiming for, is to create our own artwork. Okay. Mary says, I have yards of silk ribbon that would probably work. I can send in Happy Mail. Mary, you can send me some silk ribbon if you would like. Please don't send too much, as I have limited space, but some would be very nice, yes. And I have some silk, but always something new and interesting is fun to play with. Sharon says, I've reinforced my book using calico, which is, I think, what some consider muslin. I don't know if it's the same thing. I like to use calicos or Baltics. I like the patterns of them. Let's see. Oh, Susan says, my walnut stain from old walnuts turned out great. I'm trying some berries now. That sounds like fun. That really sounds like a lot of fun. And Cindy says, Siri is a nosy neighbor. Yes, she is. Okay. Trudy says, I bought my first Tim Holtz Distress ink pad today. Looking forward to trying that out. That should be very cool, Trudy. Just realize that the Distress ink is water soluble. So, you know, depending on what use you have for it, you know, you're going to have a hard time putting water over the top of it and having that stay. But if it's just to make a stamp and then you're going to like take your coloring pencils around that stamp, that'll be great. Okay. Can you make homemade shimmer sprays as I have none? Brenda asks. So Cindy has been working on something like that. Yes, I think you can. I do not have the recipe for that. Cindy's been experimenting, but I don't know if she has something that works perfect either. To make a homemade shimmer spray, I would actually Google it and see what comes up on YouTube. I have not personally tried to do that. So calico is my all-time favorite fabric, so versatile, and if you have plain calico, you can alter it in so many different ways. It's lots of fun. That is the truth. Okay, let's go back to some of the questions that we had on Messy Hands page. Trudy, I'll get back to your question. That's a good question. Diane asks, different glues. Art Glitter, Tacky, Yoo-Hoo versus Elmer. So I don't use Art Glitter glue, and I haven't really used it. I was looking, I had to watch some videos to see, and I didn't have enough time because I've been making art today. I've heard good things about the Art Glitter glue. I have not personally tried it, so I cannot give you a recommendation on it one way or the other. Tacky glue, I do like. They are, I think Cindy said they were all PVA glues. It just depends on the quality of them. UHU versus Elmer's glue. I don't ever use Elmer's glue. I've never used UHU glue. So there are definitely videos on YouTube where people really go through and talk about the different types of glues. The only one of those that I actually own is the tacky glue. So even if I were to watch somebody else's review of that, until I actually have the product and I am actually using it, I'm not going to give a review of it. I might have some of the glitter glue. I'm trying to think. I do have a really nice clear glue, but it doesn't have like that instant stick to it. So, you know, you guys know the glues that I use. I use Fabri-Tac, I use Mod Podge, I use Tacky Glue, I use E6000. And those glues pretty much so work for everything for me. And is it the glitter glue that I used to make the raindrops on the spider web? That was a nice glue also, and you could do some really cool detail work with that. Not to say that any of the other glues are bad, I just haven't used them and I'm not able to review them. Shane asked about acrylic skins and how to apply them to your altered books or anything. I haven't really played with acrylic skins either. I have done some flow painting, but I haven't done anything with the acrylic skins. And Cindy did say that you could apply them again with a heavier glue. I would think that that would work out just fine. Okay. So Trudy asks on the Distress ink pad, can I use it to make canvas look old? Would I need to put varnish on top? Yes, you can use it to make canvas look old, and you can also use it to edge, you know, some of those new images that you have. You know, you can take it and just kind of edge with it very nicely. Do you have to put varnish on top? It depends on what you're going to put on top of it or what you're doing with it. You know, that a lot of times I'll use that light layer of Mod Podge to stick down water soluble things if I'm going to be layering more mediums over the top of it. If it's just going to be a picture that you kind of distress or make look old, then no, you don't have to put varnish over the top of it, as long as it's not going to get wet with other things. Let's see. Oh, Susan said, I used glitter glue and wiped it off and it left shimmer. Huh, interesting. Again, it's not something that I have used. Cindy says water, gum arabic, and mica equal shimmer spray. Huh. There you go, guys. That's how you make a shimmer spray. Fabri-Tac is great, yes. And Fabri-Tac and 3-in-1, they're basically the same thing from what I've heard. I don't know if they are chemically the exact same thing, but the Fabri-Tac, I think you can get, there's 3 different varieties of it at Joann's. So I love Fabri-Tac. That's the one that is my go-to glue anymore. A lot of times even over Mod Podge, because it just sticks. It sticks well. Brenda says, thank you, Cindy. Cindy says, welcome. Mod Podge is also an adhesive. Yes, and Mod Podge, of course, as you guys know, is what I use for a lot of stuff. So here I just said I use Fabri-Tac. I use Fabri-Tac and Mod Podge almost exclusively. Okay. Glossy Accents works nice. I haven't tried Glossy Accents, Shane, but I am sure it does. Yes, Trudy, I hope you enjoy the Mod Podge. Try not to get it on too thick, and then don't get it on too thin. You'll find the right balance, but if it's not drying, try not to use quite as much. Don't be afraid of it. Try it out. Just watch the videos and just go with it, and you'll be just fine. Mod Podge is a wonderful tool. Okay. Shane asks how to turn tissue paper into stronger paper to draw on for transparency. Doodle on tissue paper. Let's see. Yes, we did, Cindy. How to turn tissue paper into stronger paper to draw on for transparency. Doodle on tissue paper. I haven't done this technique again, guys. I don't use tissue paper for anything other than transparencies. But I guess you can use like matte medium or matte gel to cover the tissue paper to make it stronger. This is not a technique that I've done. So if I haven't done it, I generally am not going to recommend it. Not saying that it won't work. I just don't know. So, you can always Google or YouTube these things. There's a lot of really amazing artists out there doing a lot of experimenting. I just don't have a chance to get to all the experiments, honestly. Susan had a great question. Should an altered book follow one theme or storyline? And we have talked about this in the past. If you want it to, yes. If you don't want it to, don't. If it's your first altered book, I would say that it's kind of limiting for you. And it's hard to come up sometimes with numerous pages to fit one theme. If you have an idea in your brain for a theme of a book, then go for it. Do whatever makes you happy. Do what feels right for you. If you want to have a theme, go for it. My circus book, I love the fact that it has that circus theme to it. I think it was really cool. I would have to say most of my other books do not have a theme to them. They have a similar feel on each page just because I'm always kind of conscious of that. But as far as theme, only the circus book has a theme. Okay. Let's see. I did realize that about Distress ink. That's what I have. Yeah, Distress ink is great. Don't get me wrong. It is a great tool. It is just water soluble. So if you're putting more water over the top of it, that ink can kind of wear off. If you're not putting more products over the top of it, you're just fine. And you don't have to do anything more with it. Shane says, I have a recipe that came from Liquitex about sprays. I will get that to you all in a bit. Busy with bubble wrap tape and stuff. Oh, thank you, Shane. And Susan says, thank you, because I have different ideas every day. So I think if you're just new to Altered Books, I would not do a single theme. Don't limit yourself. Of course, as soon as I say that, then I see a theme that somebody's doing and I think how cool that is. So really do what makes you happy. There's no rules. There's no rules to this, and that's what's cool about it. And Trudy had asked on the Messy Hands page, are Inktense pencils the same as watercolor pencils? No, they are not, actually. They are two different pencils that have two different pigments in them. So Inktense, this was done with Inktense pencils, right? And the color here I know is a little bit kind of hard to see the color. Inktense are very strongly pigmented. They are an alcohol-based ink, and please, Cindy or Kat, correct me if I'm wrong here. So they are water soluble the first time, but then after that, they become a permanent ink. So it is an ink pencil. A watercolor pencil is watercolor, like a watercolor paint that has been put into pencil form. So it is a watercolor paint. So this was not done with watercolor pencils. This was done with the Arteza watercolor set. Now the colors are very similar and very saturated, but each do a different thing. Watercolor pencils, I'm still practicing with those. They're both the Inktense and the watercolor pencils are very nice to just use as a colored pencil. The Inktense, the colors are extremely vibrant, and again, it dries permanent. The watercolor pencils can also be vibrant, but they will always be able to kind of be moved around. And they're different tools. And it's like asking if watercolor paper is the same as mixed media paper. They're two different tools, and they provide different results. Let's see. Kat says, about themed books, even if it's not a specific theme, the book is about you. And that's a very great point. Thank you, Kat. What you like, what inspires you, and what moves you. So no themed book is a you themed book. So perfectly stated. And guys, the more that we can personalize our books, the better our books are going to be. And I know that I say this all the time in the videos, but if you're not doing something that speaks to you, then your art is not going to be as good as what it can be. I used to live in San Francisco. Here's the or not in San Francisco, but in the Bay Area, right? So this was all about going from the city to the country. Now, do I live in this house? No. Is this influenced by my current life? Yes, right? I love sunflowers. This is my happy place. Can I relate to both of these women? Are either of these women me? No, but yes, right? No, they're not me, but yes, they both kind of are. So it relates to me. I found images that I enjoyed. This is my home. I love the ocean. I love poppies. I love experiencing things. This page was 100% about me, as you know, with my little Oz man. And I was thinking about going and taking a really long road trip when I made this. And I will do that road trip at some point. So this page is all about me. I love ravens. And, you know, you know, find things that make sense to you. Find things that are important to you or that you like. Don't just use some random image, cut it out and paste it onto a page. And the reason why I say that is because you won't have any personal connection to it. And without the personal connection, our artwork just is a regurgitation of somebody else's artwork. And, if it's not something that's personal, then it's something that's not personal. So it makes a huge difference with our artwork. Even if you see me doing a project that you have no connection to, don't think that you have to do that project in that way. Use what images make you happy. That's why I provide you with hundreds of images on Patreon. Just because I'm using one image doesn't mean that that's the image that you have to use. Use what speaks to you. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. All right. That was a great comment, Cap. Thank you very much for that. Dilutions, sprays, same problem. Let's see. How do I handle that when I'm using the dilution sprays? I think that, Kim, you're talking about them clogging up. I get annoyed with them and I take off the top and then I start to shake them all over the page, or I pour them into a cup and I start to use them that way. Sometimes the dilution sprays really annoy me. Now, if you do watch the videos from Tim Holtz or some of the other Ranger artists, they do wipe off every single spray after every time they use it. And I'm sure that would really help with the clogging issue. I do not have the patience for that. I know that they store it up top, and I know that they shake it from the lid instead of shaking it this way. There's things that they do to keep those spray bottles from clogging. I just deal with the clogged sprays. I think you could possibly soak the sprayers and see if you could get those little particles out of there. There's times where I open up a brand new one and the sprayer doesn't work. It's gotten jostled in shipping or whatever. It's just the nature, I think, of mica in the spray bottle. It's a pain in the butt. Just what it is. I think they do the best they can. But I still love using the Dylusion shimmer sprays. I'm not going to stop using the product because the sprayer doesn't work well. Okay. Let's see. Sue says, what are Coptic pens? I got a bunch at Goodwill, then seen that they cost a lot in craft stores. Oh, that was another thing I was going to tell you, Trudy, about the cost of Inktense. There is a reason why Inktense are 2 or 3 times the cost of watercolor pencils in general. They are a very highly pigmented product, and they're a very, very nice product to use. They are definitely more expensive. So if you can afford just this at 12, do what you can afford. Okay. Coptic pens. Yes, Coptic pens are alcohol inked permanent pens. They are nice. I personally don't have any. I haven't really used them very much. Do you have to get Coptic pens versus, I know Arteza has an alcohol-based pen. I believe it's called the blendable pens. I have that on kind of my wish list to purchase something like that. Does it have, what are Coptic pens? You can, anywhere that you would use a marker, you would use your Coptic pens. Now, fine artists or draftsmen use them. They are definitely a very quality pen. So if you got them at a thrift store, congratulations. Those are very expensive pens, and just play with them. Start teaching yourself about shading, and they're a drawing tool. They're a drafting tool. They are a beautiful pen. Again, I don't use markers a lot, and so it's not something that I'm super familiar with, but I know that I've heard Kat talk about them, and she just thinks that they're fabulous. So you just have to play with them and let us know how it works. Definitely share with us over at Messy Hands whatever your creations are. Just play. Okay. Jean says, I have 5 books so I can choose where I want to put the project. I have one theme book that is making my head hurt. They can. Theme books can make your head hurt. I'm not going to lie. That's a really cool idea to have 5 different books going at the same time. For me, Jean, I like to finish one project before going on to another. So for me to have the masterclass book, the creating your first altered book, and the circus book, to have all 3 of those unfinished right now, I don't like that feeling. But everybody works the way that they want to work. And I would assume that Jean sees a new project that I come out with, and then she'll apply it to whichever book that she feels is the most comfortable place for it to be, or the happiest place for it to be. I think that's really a great way to do it. For me, I'm more of well, if you guys haven't noticed, I'm definitely more an A-type personality. I work from start to finish. It's not common actually for an artist to have that type of skill set. They're more random. And for me, I've just worked in offices for so long that my randomness changed into more of a sequential type personality. I really love finishing something, that makes me really happy. The more things that I have open, it's kind of the more stressful that things become for me. Anyways, I think the Coptic is spelled correctly there, Nina. Thank you. Coptics are alcohol-based markers. Yes. Coptic is the marker. Oh, Copic is the marker. Coptic is the stitch. Thank you, Kat. She's very right. Copic. Okay. I appreciate that. You know me and my words. All right. Apartments. Sue says, reminds me of ... Why do they call them apartments when they're all stuck together? They are not apartments. They are stuck together. Exactly. They are water soluble. Copics are not water soluble. Kim, I already am a Arteza affiliate. I have not contacted any other companies besides Arteza at this point in time. But yes, I do like to do product trials, but I also want to make sure that I know about the products before I show you guys. So I'm working on doing the Arteza product reviews. But I'm not just going to sit there and just make dots. I'm going to make something that's cool and, and have some skill level behind it. And, why would I recommend something to you if I can't use the product myself? That's how I look at things. All right. Kat says, Copics, see, I said it right, are professional grade. They are more than just a marker, but I can't go into that detail here. YouTube or Google them. Absolutely. Absolutely. And really, you should YouTube them or Google them, because you do want to see what can be done with those pens. They're phenomenal. Okay. Books are all very different sizes. Oh, that's cool, Jean. That'd be really fun to do. So are mine. Oh, Sue says, thank you, Kat. I got 12 for $4 at Goodwill. Good job. You got a hell of a deal. They're usually about $4 or $5 each. Absolutely. I love random thoughts. Me too. Shane. Shane's making me a care package. That's why she keeps talking about the bubble wrap. Oh my goodness. Trudy was given 10 different colored Sakura Sigma brush pens today. I've never heard of them before. They are nice. They are very nice. I have, let's see, the brush pens. Now I know that I use the Sigma Micron pens, so I'm not really familiar with the brush pens. So I hope you enjoy it and love it. Okay, my darlings. Let's see. Oh, we had one more from Susan. She says, "You've done some great Exquisite Corpse backgrounds. I love them, but what will be the focal points on them, or will that come later?" So, Susan, since you are a Patreon, the August 22nd, I did upload a image packet for the Exquisite Corpse reference, and look for the image of Fred and Gertie on the front and their little shack at the beach. So there are a bunch of silhouettes there, and that's actually what I'm doing on the Exquisite Corpse page right now. I'm trying to figure out how to do this. Here are my Gerties, and I'm trying to make them be similar sizes. And if you guys don't know what Exquisite Corpse is, it is a Victorian game that they used to do where somebody would do the head, somebody would do the torso, and somebody would do the legs. And it was a game. And so then as you change the pages, you would get different people or different creatures being made. So I did one of these in my Circus Altered book. And definitely check out that playlist, the Circus Altered book, Exquisite Corpse, and you'll see what it is all about. So today I have been cutting and really trying to figure out how to make these pages work together. I'm going to try to do Fred on one side and Gertie on the other, and we're doing a little bit of their story, their life story. And so the heads will be there, the torsos will be in the middle, and then the legs will be at the bottom. And then I will be decorating the backgrounds for each of them. It is a very technical spread, but I think it'll be super cool when it's finished. It gives me a little bit of a headache, not gonna lie, it's been tough. So here are some of my cutouts so far, and I will go through and do more detail to the cutouts. Whew. But the silhouettes for those are in that August 22nd attachment under images. If you hit the tag images on the front page of Patreon, you should be able to get to it relatively quickly. Okay. Let's see. Cindy says they're also great pens. They're talking about the Sakura Sigma. Look forward to trying them. Just ran into Jane Davenport stencils. Love the faces. Yeah, you know, whatever works for you, as far as doing the faces, absolutely. Mary says, so will this group be doing mostly altered books or all the projects random? So Mary, what I pretty much so do is on YouTube itself, I have been doing a video on Monday and Wednesday called Build a Doodle, which is basically working on creating our own artwork. And then on Saturdays on YouTube, we have the Creating Your First Altered Book series. So I might have to be reducing one of those videos, guys. I'm not going to lie, with the new job and the hours. Things are going great at the job. It's just I don't have as much time as I used to. On Patreon, we have Masterclass, which is where we have the coffee table art book. And then also On Friday, you get another video, which this week is 2-point perspective. Last week is 1-point perspective. And still, we've been making the build videos out of the doodles. So I do a lot of different projects, mainly altered books for our large series, like the Creating Your First Altered Book and the Masterclass series. The other videos, right now we've been working on, in July, we worked on color theory in the 30x3, which was a really fun prompt challenge project where we learned about color and we learned about design principles and elements of art. And after that, we went into doodles and learning how to draw by using doodles, which has been really amazing because I'm watching some of you guys drawing for the very first time. And I love seeing that. And I'm so proud of you all for doing it. And again, you all have to quit comparing yourself to other people. You just have to keep practicing and you'll get better and better and better. And I have to tell you, I am so proud of you guys for learning how to draw. You're doing great. Keep it up and keep practicing. But I do a lot of altered books. But I also, there's a lot of, you can take any of these techniques and apply it to any substrate. And I know that I don't say that enough, but I'm just looking here on one of my images, like these guys up here, these poppies. That's using the same techniques that what I'm using on this cover of this book, so you don't have to limit yourself to putting it into a book. You can put it on any substrate. You could easily do this on a board or on a canvas. Absolutely, you can completely do that on a canvas. These you could do on a canvas. This, oh my gosh, 100% you can do this on a canvas or a board. Just because it's in a book, don't limit yourself to thinking it has to be in a book. Put it on a board, you can put it on a canvas panel, you can use whatever your heart desires. All right. The struggle is real. Done. How big is that book? Who is Fred? All right, who's Fred? All right, so this is Fred and Gertie's house. You can see Gertie. You can see Gertie in the window, kind of. There's a little bit of glare, and there's Fred. Fred and Gertie. And this book is 13 inches by 10 inches. It is you can't see Gertie in there. There she is. That is on regular YouTube. You can see how this whole project was made. Look under Masterclass video series, and it will show how we made this shaker window. Which it shakes, the shaker window, her little flowers shake, and the door, and then this tree. And then this one is on Patreon, which we just finished up. This is the spider web page. It started with the spider web. And then we built the tree and the cattails. And then we are doing this exquisite corpse. So yes, the book is 10 inches by 13 inches. So it's a really wonderful canvas to work with. Coffee table art book. Yep, Masterclass. So Masterclass was on regular YouTube. It has now gone to Patreon exclusive content. Okay. Yeah, the exquisite corpse lives. Oh my gosh. It's intimidating, not gonna lie. Oh, Sharon says, oh, Stephanie, you are so inspiring. Thank you so much. Thank you. Jean says, I like 1/4-inch plywood because it's cheap and it fits most normal frames. Absolutely. And Jean, that is a really good point. So if you guys are using substrates, and we're going to finish up here because we've been talking for an hour and a quarter. But if you are using an outside substrate, like a canvas or a piece of board or the 1/4 inch plywood like that, use something that's going to be a standard frame size. Because let me tell you, it is a lot cheaper if you're doing a 5x7 photo to put it in a 5x7 frame instead of doing something that's like a 10x12 that you would have to purchase the frame. You would have to go and get the frame made. So make sure that the size that you're using is something that is a standard size. That way, when you go to, this is a picture of my first Harley. Use something that's a standard frame size. That's my hint for the day. Okay. Yes, that would, oh yes, and just so your raw plywood before you work on it. Absolutely, absolutely. Oh, thank you, Kim. Yeah, the coffee table art book is really a cool project. And working with the larger size is really allowing us to do some great detail. Susan Benwhite is doing, she's done the beautiful falls, and then she'd have farm on the other side. I know Sue from New Zealand, she's doing a gorgeous house. And in fact, if you guys are doing altered books, please be sure to be sharing your pages over at Messy Hands. I love seeing what you are creating. And if you have any questions, be sure to ask us over there. I would love to be able to respond to all the comments on YouTube. Unfortunately, I just don't have the time to do it. I try to. Oh gosh, there was another question. Oh, Trudy, you were asking about shapes of petals. So what I want you to do is I want you to quit thinking about them as a petal. Think of it as a raindrop. Okay. Think of it as a pear. Think of it as a circle with 2 lines. I'm sorry. All right. And here's a line. I'm doing this really backwards. There's a line and there's a half circle. All right. Or you can do like, they don't have to be perfect. Just do something. Practice this shape before you try to put it together into a flower. Okay. Just try to practice making oblong circle shapes here. I'll just make a couple more different ones for you. Kind of make little ovally things that are pointy on one end, and that pointy end is what's going to go into your center. Okay, it's just circles. Don't freak yourself out by it. It's teardrops, it's circles, it's oblong-y things, it's zucchinis, you know, whatever. Stop trying to think so much of it as being a flower petal and that you have to get it exact. Try to loosen up a little bit and just start making some shapes. And I just want you to sit and make some repetitious, fast shapes. And then after you've done like a page on your notebook page, right, of just those fast little circles, then try to put it together and you can see how you can do with that. Make ones that are fatter on the bottom, you know, for that, you know, that's a pear that's been dropped on its butt and it's squishing, okay? That's all it is. That's a triangle with a rounded bottom. Okay, so just try to get out of thinking that it has to be an exact shape. Okay, I have to go too, Sharon. I've been chatting. I've been blah, blah, blah for far too long. Does anybody have anything else that they would like to say? And we will be wrapping up here coming up in just a couple seconds. So let's say our goodbyes. I have to leave too, Brenda. It was great to chat with you. Thank you so much for being here with us. Oh, thank you, Trudy. I appreciate you being here, and we love you over at Messy Hands. Everybody come join us on Messy Hands if you haven't already. Please subscribe. Please hit that like button before you leave. I would really appreciate it. And everybody, we will chat soon. I hope you have a great day. Stay safe. We will see you next week. Good night, Kim. Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Sleep well, Trudy, and everybody else. Love you all. Have a great day.